Hello and welcome, everyone. You know, if I was smart, and I mean really smart, if I was smart, I'd pretty much come down here, and these allow input of 125. I'd make 10 of these. Um, yeah, just 10 of those, along with the PRCs to go with it, and just make cloches. That's what I would do if I'm smart. But you know what, ladies and gentlemen? I'm not. And that's fine. So, yeah, I'm just doing my makeshift thing, but the power's been good. You know, like all things considered, we struggled for power for quite some time. But it's pretty good right now. It's doing well. I left you all off with a bit of a cliffhanger last episode, and let's get into it right now. So I set up the induction smelter for the cinnabar, so the cinnabar is pulling out of here. I kept a spare stack right here just because I want to make sure that I have some around. It looks like it's only used for these signalum cells, so not a huge amount of things, but I wanted to make sure that we, at least have that around in case we need it so that we don't burn through them all, right? Stuff like that. But I set that guy up. It's working pretty good. As you can see, we have 52 iridium ingots from this system. All of the platinum and nickel I did set up to go through here. That's all heading back over yonder. So that's working great. It's working really, really good. And I also set up my aquamarine to go through this pulverizer now because we had a spare spot. Which is great. But, that got me thinking a little bit as I was wandering around and, I was moving my digital miner for like the 40 bazillionth time, which is great. Digital miner's awesome and everything. But you got to continually move it, right? You got to keep moving this thing around. And I was kind of thinking it'd be nice to have some sort of a passive, more passive setup for mining, right? For getting all that stuff and getting things going in our world. Now, we built the solar panel last time, right? As you can see, the amplification's working pretty good. We're up to almost 12,000 UU. That's excellent. But yeah, as we built the solar panel, right? We built that solar panel over there instead of going for a void ore miner. Now, my power situation's pretty good, so I don't really want to mess with it at this point in time. This guy, with everything else, seems to be working pretty decently overall. I mean, I definitely need to streamline it. We need to condense down. We need to, improve and make more efficient and stuff like that. But that might come with like reactors and such, which I don't really have an interest in doing right at this second. So there's a few different things that I want to do today, and two of them are pretty major. Two of them are very major, to say the least. If we go into our quest book, we currently have a few gates still that have not been opened. One of them being extreme reactors, applied energistics, psi. Right, I'm kind of eyeballing this level. These ones here, they're a little bit more complex, along with that one. And then, of course, the bragging rights section as well. So there's a few different things here that I wanted to at least get started on so that we can kind of sort of proceed accordingly. Now, just kind of like Ex Nihilo doesn't have a chapter, neither does Applied Energistics, neither does Mystical Agriculture, right? So some of these do not have chapters associated with them, which is perfectly fine, but it kind of got me thinking with, some of this stuff that we should probably just unlock them and call it a day. But before we do that, before we unlock Applied Energistics, which is my goal today, I want to get an ME controller. That is on my list. I also want to get, I think, a laser. Let's get a laser from Industrial Foregoing and see if we can't get some of that passive farming going. And I also want to see what it's going to do to our power system. But the main thing is I can maybe get rid of the digital miner and moving it around, or just use it when I want to, and less of a requirement, right? If that makes sense. So as you can see, I mean, the digital miner is working great. I have so many diamonds, it's ridiculous. I have a whole nother backpack of them right there as well. So we have a lot of diamonds, so that's great. By the way, I got this Axe of the Wyvern. I can't remember if I said that last time or not. I got this guy in a loot bag, so that's pretty sweet. And this bow right here, as you can see, multi-shot 4, withering, power 4, punch 2, mending, and flame. I also got this from my fishing net. This guy right here. Can you believe that? That is such an OP drop. It's not even funny. So, yeah, some pretty good stuff. This is full. This just in. Very, very full. So that's fun. That's fun. Yeah, I guess we're no longer using the wheat, really. We're using those potatoes now, so I guess that makes sense. Luckily, we have lots of room over here, so maybe I'll have to reroute that. But anyway, so let's get to it right off the get-go here. And I've prepared most of the stuff that I need. Case in point, I have everything that I need. We have the laser base. This is your main functionality laser, all of that type of stuff. It's very, very good. It's basically what does the majority of the work. Okay? This guy, pretty darn sweet. A lot of this stuff I have not scanned, so I would like to make sure that I scan it. So the laser base we can create. Pretty easy. Nothing too crazy there, right? Pretty simple overall. Time in a bottle. That's right. I haven't scanned that guy yet. So there's our laser base. Excellent. Very nice item. Let's finish that guy up with the loot. So the laser base, when powered by laser drills, it will generate ores. It will need to have a clear line of sight to bedrock or void below it. Perfect. You can apply lenses to filter it. Now, I don't want to get into lenses because I want to have flexibility outside of lenses. So we'll kind of leave that for now. But I have the 4 laser drills here as well, ready to go. Now, a couple of quick things. On this one, these laser focus matrix, these were the only expensive part. With the steel casings and the atomic alloy, everything else is pretty darn cheap, all things considered. Refined glowstone, very easy to make. UU matter. Diamond gears, as you just saw, I have tons of diamonds. So, there we go. Laser drills. Nice. Scan those up as well. Might as well. Awesome. Okay, so this should give us, it uses 4,000 RF per tick. Okay, okay. We'll see. I do not know if each one uses, you know what I mean? If each one uses that or not, okay? So I'll have to figure that one out. This might completely destroy our power situation. Is kind of what I'm thinking is about to happen here, okay? So, in the meantime, I want to get this universal cable. If it destroys our power system, I may just build more of these, okay? For the time being, all right? Now, this system, I actually want to have directly in the middle of our base, okay? Pretty straightforward, nothing too crazy here. But we have this wonderful network cable running right through the middle here. And I want to use it to my advantage, okay? Yeah, we'll just mine out a little bit here. Surprised that this hasn't been already gonzoed. But anyways, okay, good, good. All right, so right here is pretty much where I'm thinking of setting up the laser. Now, one of the big requirements for this was it needs to have line of sight down to the bedrock, right? Pretty straightforward, nothing too crazy going on there. Pretty self-explanatory, to be honest. But basically, I want to have this guy right there like that, okay? Pretty darn easy, okay? We're going to have the laser drills, laser bases, kind of, sort of, just like this, at each corner of this drill. Each one of those spots are going to be where we're going to need stuff, okay? Now, the base we don't power itself. That's actually just going to be a connector, or pretty much my ender chest is what I'm planning here. And then otherwise, it's powered from these laser drills themselves. Okay, so these guys here, these will be the things that need the power cables. All right. Now, I do not want them up top like this because that's not going to work for us. Instead, what we'll do is we'll do just kind of around. You know what? Do I want to lower this by one? I think I want to lower this. Yeah. Yeah, let's go a little bit lower. That should be fine. Yeah, I think one lower would be more advised. Yeah, I think so. Okay. We'll throw down these guys like this. That'll work great. We can kind of mine this out a little bit. I'm going to need to get some torches as well, but that's neither here nor there. This guy here, we can do like this, and this guy goes on top like so. Excellent. Okay, so this is going to be our drill setup. And then I'll have my chest on top, and that should work pretty good, or close to it anyways. That's my thought process. Here we're going to have our power running across, big old power lines, trying to dip as much as we can into this thing so that we don't have any issues moving forward, right? Hopefully that makes sense as well. Okay, and we need to attach this over to our main line, which is somewhere over here. So I'm probably going to need a few more cables, but overall, it shouldn't be too bad. I think it's right there. Perfect. Okay, good. In the meantime, let's get some torches down here. Right there? Sure. And right there. Good enough for now. I need another one down there, but that's okay. Okay? So this guy here will basically cruise along, like so. And connect into our system over here. Very good stuff. Very good stuff. I love it. I love it. I'd like to thank you all again. I know I've done it quite a bit, but thank you all for the continued support on the videos. I can't believe how many we've gotten done. You know, all things considered, it's been phenomenal. So, thank you. All right. There we go. And that'll punch in like that. We can at least get these ones started to fill up a little bit as we go. I'll have to get more once we're done. Okay? In the meantime, I'm going to dig down to bedrock. I'm going to go get more cables and everything. And then hopefully we can turn this thing on and see our power probably disappear. Which I think will be a little bit of fun. So, without anything else, I'll be back shortly. Alright, just getting back here. And as you can see, I'm about to turn this bad boy on, basically. We're pretty much done. I think, for the most part, we're down to bedrock, which is great. It was actually pretty easy dig, all things considered. Nope, I did not want to go up there. I did not want to do that. There we go. Okay, we're going to throw down the ender chest, and I'm also going to replace this with a connector. And this is going to be our laser drill. Beautiful. All right, pretty straightforward, nothing too crazy so far. So hopefully everything that comes out of there is going to end up in there, which can then be input into our system. Pretty straightforward, right? All right, let's, without further ado, hook it up and see what happens. There we go, there we go. Do we have to supply power to this thing? Or do I have this not lined up properly? Both are possibilities. Let's just take a quick little glance here. Never hurts to go a little bit further out of the way here. Yeah, there we go. As you can see, I did not properly line up the eyes accordingly. Boom, boom. There we go. Shooting the laser beams. Shooting the laser beams into the drill. So, it's powering up. It's working. Very nice. Now, this thing is slow. It's not the fastest. All things considered, it is definitely not the fastest. Our power is also dropping, which is a little scary, to say the least. Okay? Now, I don't know what this means. Lens items. I guess you can use multiple lenses. The other thing that I'm noticing, though, is it's not auto outputting, which I thought it would. So we need to kind of tweak our configuration here a little bit. Do be careful around these lasers as well. They do not tend to like certain things. Okay. That is not the right cabling. That is not the right cabling at all. It's good cabling, but it is not the correct cabling. Okay, what I want to do is we want to run network cable around because this is obviously not working. Okay, so from there, that's good. We'll take the ender chest as well. It's going to take a little bit while longer, mostly because we're flying here. We'll take that guy. And what we're going to do is we'll do an item conduit. That'll work great. And I'll do right here, I guess. We'll do that guy. That'll be good. Laser drill. Beautiful. And this will then be our chest right there. Good. This guy will be extract always active. This guy will be insert. No extract. So, as you can see, we got our items. Beautiful. Nether prosperity ore. Beautiful. That is something I was curious to see if we would get. Now, our laser drill is up and running. It is working as intended. Let's check out our power situation. Now, one of the things is, I think it's only pulling from these two right here. So, we need to monitor this power less so than this power over here. I don't believe this power is getting utilized at all because it's on this ultimate universal cable, right? So the universal cable, as we can follow it along, comes from my generators over there and powers into these. So we're actually tapping the power before it even gets into the power cell. Now, is that a good thing? That's debatable, right? Because ultimately, you are not tapping into your giant database. You're just tapping into, you know, the small little bits, right, from the two gas-burning generators. So what we should see is exactly that. We're only pushing out about 2,400 each. Now, is that a bad thing? I don't think so. It's not a bad thing at all to limit our laser base. The problem is going to come once we finish. You know, we have this laser base up and running. Now I need to charge that power cell or something like that. It's really going to tap into our overall power. But as we can see there, we're talking fully passive, more or less passive generation of resources compared to our digital miner, which just required a lot of manual labor for the most part of me going back and forth between it and all that type of stuff. Now, I probably will use both for at least now. Not that we're lacking at all in resources, but I wanted to test this with the energy cell to see what kind of power drain we're talking about without those gas-burning generators in operation. And I will do it at daytime just for a little bit more of an accurate test. But the way that I see it is, no matter what, this should have double the power to get into here. So we should be good for the most part, because this is feeding into this, which is feeding into that. So no matter what, we should have double the power, and we should only hit about 50% on these two energy cells, give or take a little bit. This one will get empty. This one will be at 50% when all things are said and done. And this should be full. So we should be good to go to maintain that, as well as the laser beam that is processing. Now, the only other thing that we have to monitor after that is our potatoes to see how those are doing. As far as I know, they've been continually going up. So, and it looks like they still are, with the two cloches here and the fertilizer that we set up. So it looks like they're still proceeding in the correct direction, which is great. I think our appetite is still really, really solid. We have so much of it. It's not even funny if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, 405 stacks, right? So we're good on that end. Our potatoes are going up still. We are producing ethylene at pretty much full capacity. This is not going down. We're producing the ethanol. We are powering up our cells. As you can see, it is working as intended. And we have now our passive generation, which is bringing in a few unique things, like end infernium ore, nether infernium ore. Those are different. I've never seen these before. So, these are good things that we need to now configure into our system. Now, if I'm not mistaken, I think most of these will go through the enrichment chamber. If I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it's kind of looking like that's enrichment. I think this one is as well. 6. Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much all of these, if I'm not mistaken, will be going through the system. Yeah, all going through the enrichment chamber. That guy right there, the enriching factory. So we should be able to actually set that up pretty darn quickly, just by finding it in our system here, enriching 1, and we can add these to our system. Pretty straightforward, nothing too crazy. Okay, that's going to ore block, it's going to metadata, all that kind of stuff. But then we also need to put these into our setup back at the other base, right? Because everything we're doing there is going to our tower, and then it's going back over as required, right? And funnily enough, look at this. I have endstone right there. This is a perfect spot for some of these other unique goodies to go in. Now, it's kind of nice. We have those infernium. I mean, we have a lot of infernium from our farm downstairs, but you can always use more. Hands down, always. So, that's exactly what we're doing. We're using more as much as possible to get as much as possible. So, very happy that we have the laser drill. It's going to work great. I am thinking about adding more gas burning generators to the system. Seeing where we kind of cap out at, and then go from there. As you can see, 50% of both, pretty darn solid. We have a pretty good system overall. Pretty good system. Takes a little bit longer for us to fill up this energy cell compared to before we set up the lasers, but it's still working. It's still filling up. We don't have a power negative situation, and we have some better consistent resource generation, which is fantastic. Awesome. Step 1 of today's episode complete. Complete. Step 2 is the ME controller. Let's go take a look at that guy and see what all we need to do to get the ME controller. It shouldn't be that hard of a recipe. It's really not. There is a few different processes, and one of them being that guy there. We haven't dealt with that yet. These machine casings are very easy for us to make. I think all of this is pretty darn easy as well. It is. So we have the majority of this ready to go. So let me get the few items that I do need ready together, and then we'll deal with the inscribers, and then we'll get our ME controller. Alright, so I think now is a pretty good time to bring everybody back in. Now, as you can see, we're getting some nice stuff. Biome Essence, Prosperity Ore. These are ores that we weren't available, which is really, really good. It's very, very nice to see. But I am in kind of sort of the final-ish process of some of this stuff. I have a whole bunch of this, like, leftover glass and whatnot that I just want to kind of power through here where possible. So, yeah. Just one of those things. Get some of this quartz fiber cable, which is really, really important. It's one of the main fundamental building blocks of a lot of this stuff, right? So we'll keep some of that around. I only need a little bit of this, so I'm not going to go too hog wild overall, but there's a few ME cables. That's nice. That's nice. As you can see, I've made a few things already prepared. This is the control circuit that's going to go up top. So we got that guy done. That's good. That guy goes there. I already made the Fluix blocks, the machine case, the Fluix pearls. These are all pretty straightforward. Nothing too crazy about these recipes overall. And things that we've kind of already seen, give or take a little bit, right? This guy here is going to be the energy acceptor, just like so. And we need the final piece there in the middle, which is the engineering processor. That's the one that I was basically saying, uh-oh, we don't have that. Now, we do have everything that we need to get it. And that's the main thing here. So, I've made myself, or prepared, at least 4 inscribers. I might need more. I can never remember the number, but we definitely want to automate these up as soon as possible. But there we go. There's some inscribers, which is very, very nice. I don't think that does anything for us, right? The gate is the ME controller. It is. Okay, perfect. So the inscriber is a very nice item overall. It works very well. And we're going to do a quick little temporary setup in the meantime. Okay. Now, one of the big catches here is we need to get ourselves the engineering processor. So to get an engineering processor, you need both the engineering and silicone presses to get this done. Now, an engineered circuit is pretty straightforward. Engineer press with a diamond. Very easy. We got lots of diamonds. The silicon, though, we haven't really made a ton of silicon, and there is a few different versions of silicon as well. So there is this one here that we can use a material stonework factory for to basically get silicon, or crush up some sand, stuff like that can be done pretty easily. The Ender IO one is pretty much the same, but it requires silicon ingots, which really comes from the base silicon, okay? And then there's the Applied Energistics 2 one, where you basically melt up your nether quartz dust. Again, probably not the best way to go. So the nuclear craft one is the one that we want to use. This guy right here. It's the most readily available one. It's the easiest one to get. So, Material Stonework Factory with 4 grinds on it will give us silicone. That's good to know, right? Pretty easy, pretty straightforward. I do just so happen to have an additional Material Stoneworks Factory right there. So that's going to work really nice for us. And we'll just do a quick little temporary setup, like I said, of this. And I think between this and next episode, I'll move all of this around just because, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to grind, and grind. Beautiful. So that's giving us the silicone. So we had to get rid of a couple of items there. No big deal. I'm actually just going to trash them completely because I do not need them. And that's getting us silicone. Great. That's really one of the main things that we need, right? These guys also connect into these power systems, which are fabulous, so that we can easily get ourselves the other items that we require to make this thing work. So, without further ado, we have a silicone press. I'm going to put in a piece of silicone, and it's going to start working. I did forget the diamond, so let's go grab a diamond quickly here and get that done as well. Okay? I'm only making the one of these. Eventually, we want these to be pretty much fully automated and ready to go. Now, one of the things as well with these inscribers is you're probably going to want the advanced inscriber as soon as possible. They're a lot more user-friendly, all that kind of stuff. So I'll probably look to upgrade these almost immediately. All right. So anyways, there we go. We have the printed silicon and we have the printed engineering circuit. Now, last but not least, you need another inscriber, or just remove the plates, one of the two, to combine these into one. All right. Now, I need redstone, and of course I forgot that now, because why would I be fully prepared, right? Hopefully the ME controller will help us be a little bit more organized and prepared. That's at least my goal here, ladies and gentlemen. I want to get a little bit more organized and prepared and automated at the same time. So there we go. As we can see, it is working. It is doing what it's supposed to do, which is great. This guy, we got silicon, which is awesome. And there's our engineering processor. That's our first one. Amazing. We are almost there. We're almost there, right? We have this guy, the energy acceptor. We have this guy, the ME controller. Da-da-da-da. We have completed the gate. That is sweet. Now, out of all of this, I think I'm going to go with the pure Fluix. And the reason I say that is the Certus, we can mine. We're basically getting for free. The nether quartz, again, we can pretty much get for free in the nether. It's not a big deal. Whereas the Fluix requires charged Certus, nether, and redstone. Okay, so we're going to take the pure Fluix. Very nice. Gate completed. Now, as it said, we also got some smart cables, which is cool. I don't think it actually... Did I actually say that? It didn't. Anyways, I guess it gives you some smart cables too, which is really nice. The pure Fluix, which is good. And, of course, the ME controller. Sweet stuff. I'm going to scan all these things just because I haven't. For the most part. And, yeah, we're doing pretty good. We're ahead of schedule. Ahead of schedule. Now, where am I going to put my ME controller? That is a fantabulous question. And it's one that's pretty easily answered, to be honest. We are going to put our ME controller in this area right here. It's going to tap into our storage over there, so we're going to need a lot of cabling. And with ME, or Applied Energistics, there's things called channels and stuff like that that we have to be a little bit weary of. So, there's a lot of little things that we need to do to progress. Let me clean up my inventory quickly here. I'm going to dump some stuff off where possible. And, yeah. Then we'll be back to hopefully get a little bit more started on this and place it down. Actually, I stand corrected. I stand corrected. We don't have time. We're out of time for today. So what I'm going to do is we got this. We got ourselves the laser. All of that is working amazing. Our potatoes are doing great. They're still going up. Everything is working smooth. Very, very smooth. All of these are gaining power. Gaining power. For the most part, we are pretty good. I think we could use a little bit more power here. As you can see how slow this is charging. Again, because the gas burning generators are pretty much fueling this guy right here. More than anything else. So we got a little ways to go. As well as all of this stuff, right, that I don't have a spot for in our area over there or anywhere. Okay, so a lot of improvements that need to be made there. I'm going to place down the ME controller and get a few things ready for next episode. Thank you all so much. Leave a like, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Really do appreciate it. And have a good one. Bye-bye for now.